Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Hope you're all well. Sunday evening, just been out for some food, and now I'm back in to do a beer review because I was driving, so I didn't have a drink. So I'm ready to do a beer review. So the beer we are looking at now is, let me just say, I hope you've all had a good weekend. The beer we are looking at is from Tyskie brewery, part of their range, if you like. And the beer is ksiazece. It's a Polish beer. Now this one, I believe, if I remember rightly, was picked up in Polska in Wrexham. It cost around the £2.39 mark, I think. And this is a bottle, excuse my pronunciation, a bottle of their Zlote pszeniczne. Pszeniczne. I can't do the bit pronouncing the P at the start, but it's a pszeniczne lager, which is basically a wheat beer, 500ml bottle. And this is coming in at, let me try and find the ABV. It says served between 5 and 6. And the ABV on this is 4.9%. So a Polish wheat beer. Typical sort of artwork for this brewery. I've got an IPA by them as well to do at some point. There is the crown, which I do like. Nice gold crown. So, me thinking, or basically saying it's a wheat beer, I am whacking it in a wheat beer glass. Now, I don't have a Polish beer glass, so it's going in the old Kozel, which I believe is Czech, if I'm correct. I've said all that before. So, yeah, it's going in that one. So let's get it cracked open, see what we get. Still suffering from the lurgy a bit, trying to just shake it off. Your cat wants to go out now. You are amazing, cat. Amazing. As soon as I put the camera on, she decides she wants to go. She moivers me to be in here and then decides to go as I start. Yes, let's get this open. Let's get this open and see what we get. I'm dreading the day a beer decides to explode on the new carpet. It will be what it will be, but oh God, I'm dreading it. Let's get it poured, see what we get. Looking pretty decent. It's looking like a wheat beer. I mean, a wheat beer is almost sort of lager wheat beer, and it's almost a hybrid sort of style. So yeah, there is a little bit left in the bottle. I've swirled it around. Beer in a glass, slightly hazy. It looks a lot more sort of amber on your side, but holding it up against the light. Lots of bubbles in this glass. Hazy, and it is that sort of colour what you're seeing, but not so much when it's got light on it, but it is that sort of colour. And we got a lovely sort of, looks like a lovely soft sort of fluffy head on top. So let's see if the nostrils are back to business, and we'll give it a sniff. Do you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not a wheat beer. I don't know. Maybe it's just an unfiltered lager. I don't know. I think it said it uses wheat barley or something. And I searched it and it sort of says wheat beer. But there is a touch of spiciness, but it's got very much a lager nose. You're definitely getting that sort of lager hoppiness, which is pleasant. It's really nice. And not really the wheatiness. So I could be all wrong here. So I think the easiest thing to do is stop sniffing. I've told you what I'm getting. We'll top it up. Is it a lager? Is it a wheat beer? Is it both? Jesus Christ, I don't know. Maybe it'll change when I get the rest in. We'll see. Has it got any hazier? No, I wouldn't say it's got any hazier myself. But it looks decent. It looks decent. So let's stop talking. Dive in on ksiazece. And there's Zlote pszeniczne. I think that is how you say it. Pszeniczne lager. Cheers, everyone. Apologies to the Polish. Cheers. That is odd, weird. I know wheat beer is sort of like a lager. This has the feel of both beers in it. Maybe a little bit more lager than wheat beer, but you're getting that wheat beer side to it. It's a little bit odd. It's a little bit confusing. Do I like it? I don't know. I'm not sure, because it's kind of in the middle without sort of giving you what you sort of maybe want, expect, or think it is. Let's go in again. Body, I don't think it's particularly heavy, but what it's got is a lovely creamy head, and the liquid, the actual beer, is very smooth. So that's its saving grace. I think if it wasn't so smooth and it didn't have that sort of soft, fluffy, creamy head, this beer would feel a lot lighter than what it sort of does. It feels light underneath, but with that lovely smooth softness about it, it makes it feel a little bit heavier. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bad body for 4.9%. But it is lovely and pillowy soft. Real smooth. Carbonation, I'm going to say, is spot on. It's got that lovely smooth carbonation. Although quite busy, it certainly doesn't roughen anything up in the mouth because the beer is so smooth. There is maybe a little spiciness to it. Pardon me, there's the carbonation coming up. And there is a little bit of a wheaty feel to it, so you are getting that sort of spiciness. I don't want to say coriander, but there could be that sort of thing going on in there. You are getting that wheatiness as well, but for me it's got a bigger edge. Sort of, it's showing quite a big lager side to it, even though that wheat beer side is coming out more. It's an interesting one. It's a different one. I mean, you would kind of go along the lines, I think anyone drinking this, sort of expecting a big wheat beer, you would sort of say it feels a bit diluted for a wheat beer. And if you were thinking it was a lager, you'd be going, this doesn't taste like a lager. Well, it does, but it doesn't. You know, it's got something about it that makes it doesn't seem right. It definitely, as you drink it now, the more I've gone in, you get that wheat beer thing at the start as well. You do get that hoppy sort of lager feel to it. All at the same time. You got a little spicy, it's like you got that wheat thing going along there. You got the lager thing going along there, and you can separate the flavours. And then you've sort of got this spiciness that sort of goes along with it, hovering over the two, over your palate. And you're getting, it's sort of like binding the flavours together, but in an odd way. I don't want to say it's bad, but it's not, if I was being harsh, it feels like a little bit of a mishmash. It's sort of like they haven't gone one way or the other, and it almost feels like it doesn't work. But that said, I don't think it's bad. See, and I'm picking up that little hoppy sort of bite. Not hoppy bite. Is it a hoppy bite? Yeah, you are sort of like getting a little hoppy bite to it as well on the lager side. I wouldn't say there's any bitterness. I think it's almost, the beer feels a little bit lost. It feels a little bit lost, and if anyone drinks this, I think they would pick up on that. Because it's trying to be neither nor, or if it is, it's an odd style. You know, to me, I always thought it was like lager or wheat beer, if you like. But this is, you are getting both of these, and you're thinking, well, what am I drinking? What is it supposed to be? I'm not sure. 4.9%. I wouldn't say you get that. It is starting to feel a little bit dull on the back end when that carbonation dies down. And I think that's died down quite quick, really. It starts to feel not watery, but as a beer sort of goes flat, it loses that sort of little bit of something extra, doesn't it? It loses it when it starts losing that carbonation. But I mean, I'm not massively disappointed. I don't particularly dislike it. I just feel the beer is lost between two styles in a sense. But if this is actually a set style and that is how it's supposed to be, well, it's doing what it should be doing. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily a style I would levitate to, you know what I mean? I'd either go lager or go wheat beer then. But yeah, it's nice enough. There's nothing majorly offensive. £2.50 for a 500ml bottle, you can't really argue. So there we go. There's my thoughts on this beer. Ksiazece Zlote pszeniczne. A wheat lager, a wheat beer lager, I'm not sure. But yeah, a little bit lost with nothing nasty. I'm going to give it a thumbs up because it doesn't really sort of, it's not really a shit beer, it's just maybe a little bit lost. If you've had this beer before, let me know your thoughts on it. Like I said, if I remember rightly, I picked this up from Chata Polska in Wrexham, so go and give it a go if you want to. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Apologies to the Polish, and I'll see you again soon on another one. Cheers.